He performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down out of heaven to the earth in the presence of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth because of the signs which it was given him to perform in the presence of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast, who had the wound of the sword and has come to life. And it was given to him to give breath to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast would even speak and cause as many as do not worship the image of the beast to be killed.
What I've noticed over the last year is just how distant you feel here in New York and how much context, urgency, and human impact is stripped from the debate when it's presented in a very dry, professional manner, when in fact reality is far messier and more complex.
I'm technologically proficient enough.
I was born in the 80s, so I'm not the worst.
I'm not as tech savvy as the millennials.
I am an engineer, but I'm not a technological expert.
If you compare with my daughter, for example, then of course I'm hopeless.
Average. Wow.
I don't know what to say because it seems so real.
It's simply unbelievable. It's amazing.
I'm utterly blown away. It is fantastic.
That was impressive, really. There is a very, very big impression that you are present and that you are a bit maybe vulnerable even. There is a very, very big impression that you are present and that you are a bit maybe vulnerable even. There is a very, very big impression that you are present.
It's more direct, it's more emotional. It's less letters and paper.
How was that?
Interesting. It's a bit like hyperreality. Some elements seem almost too real. Some elements seem almost too real. Some elements seem almost too real. Too real. Too real. I think there's a part where you're in a sort of a field with, I'm not sure, are they coffee plants or something, but they're so 3D, it's quite extraordinary.
Tell me a little bit more about your first impression.
So it was a bit difficult. It was a bit of the vision was a bit blurry. I had to adjust to the hearing. But once you're in the experience, I'm really very, very impressed. It feels like you're on a field visit to Colombia. You get a feeling of the sense of how big the country is. You see some people explaining their stories. It's really very much like real life.
It takes a moment to adjust, so I thought I was halfway there, but it's the depth that really brought me in before I saw the figures and the characters.
Real Colombians in the market, in the classroom, the feelings that I felt from them. I mean, the fear and the relief.
You feel you are inside the place and you are living the event directly.
You're much more concentrated when you do virtual reality. You're kind of in there.
You don't have boundaries, so you're more into a really real life situation.
It could increase your situational awareness, and that will make the diplomacy more effective.
It can replace a lot of inside visits to the ground.
You're completely transferred from this room to in that setup. That's why I loved it, because I love nature, and I like the fact that I could see the mountains, the mist, the banana trees. While I was listening to people from there, it completes the picture.
Yeah, I'll tell you what resonated most with me was that, of course, you start off with the premise that you're going to see something about a policy or a program in action, and what you see are people. You have a sense as you watch this that you can actually realize, as opposed to read on a page, what the reality of actually moving from conflict to a peace-building environment looks like and what it feels like.
Peace is not merely a word in the UN Charter. It's a lived experience. It was clear that somebody had invested in the architecture, clear that somebody had invested in the sanitation. And that's very different to see that than to hear it explained in terms of the budgetary allocations of the Colombian government.
It's the children, I mean, the school, and to have a teacher that was an old warrior, being a teacher with children, it's something that is wonderful.
Well, I saw this man in the pond, feeding the fish, and it was as if I could be there with him, also feeding the fish, standing in a moment of silence, with him. You almost want to touch the water, right? Yeah. It's unbelievable what all this represents.
There's something unstoppable about technology and what it's doing to our futures. And as much as I enjoy it and support it, I knew that the inequalities that are baked into the world was going to play out here as well.
Many things have to change, and we have to be able to respond to the current times.
We can't make decisions about people's lives unless we can see the reality and walk in their shoes. So increasingly there are obstacles to that environmentally for us.
We don't have to travel all the time, and we don't have to have such a large carbon footprint as we are faced by the existential threat of climate change.
So I think the opportunity is to really bring what's happening on the ground closer to us in a more meaningful way where we can relate more.
It's not a full substitute maybe of meeting someone directly with whom you can interact, because it's a recorded interaction, it's not really interaction. But yeah, I think it's still a really powerful tool for learning.
Yeah, but you guys are just destroying people's per diems, man. Because we say, can I go on a trip? No. You sit in your office and put it on. Travel will be for the big wigs. All the rest of the plebes will be.